107 Meridian FM. Live local, love local. Meridian FM.
We welcome to the show Kevon Edmonds. So how you doing, Kevon?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Your last album was Who Knew in '09. Are you planning to make a new album soon?
Yes, I am planning to make a new album. Probably, I'm starting to get to work on a little bit of it right now, actually. So, in all likelihood and probability, it probably wouldn't be completed till probably sometime in 2013, I would imagine.
Oh, right. So this is quite a big project then.
Well, it's been a while since the Who Knew dropped. And prior to Who Knew, it had been 10 years from the 24/7 record, so we're not going to let 10 years go creep up on us. But what I am going to do this time around is take my time in the process of selecting what songs that I will be choosing to do on this record. Even though it had been 10 years past from 24/7 to Who Knew, which came in 2009, I guess I had gotten started on the 2009 project not as soon as I probably should have. And so I found myself kind of under a crunch trying to complete the album because I wanted it to I didn't want it to be longer than 10 years away from the time I dropped the 24/7 in 1999.
Your 10-year break, why was that? Was there a special reason or?
Oh, it was just a calamity of different things that happened all along. Actually, I was in that time frame. In between after the 24/7 record, I was about to start. I actually started recording the next record, and that's when 9/11 happened. And it was at that point that RCA decided to close down their R&B division at the time. And I was part of the R&B division. Now, I had the opportunity to either get paid out or play. It's a pay or play clause. And I could have either gone to some of the other sister labels in BMI, but my problem with that was that there were numerous male solo artists on every other sister label that they had, which meant that I would be moving from a label that was closing down and having to go to a label that had plenty of male artists, which probably would have meant that my project would have been I would have been shelved. And I didn't entertain that idea very well. And as opposed to going to some label and having to sit around, I decided to just to be paid out as opposed to having to sit idle.
Yeah.
And so at that time I decided just to maybe just take a break from it. It was really what my mindset was at the time.
And so you had a long break.
Had a long break, did some different things, did some live theater, tried that out for a little while, and just trying to kind of see what was out there, because I'd been doing the music then, I guess I've been doing that for about 12, maybe 13 or 14 years, so I decided I wanted to try something different. If that wasn't happening like I thought it was going to, then I decided I wanted, put my energy into something else and try something new. And acting on live stage theater, that was fine. It called for some acting and some singing, of course. But what it made me realize is that my real love is singing, not acting. And even though other people may think, oh, you would be a great actor,
it's not in your heart.
It's got to be in your heart. Exactly right. And that's what I realized. And so I started to, kind of back away from that and begin to kind of do some entrepreneurial stuff. And then I had a friend of mine who was saying, look, man, it's time to get back. You need to go ahead and put some music back out. People have been wanting to hear your voice. So that's when I went ahead and decided, I was convinced, okay, well, let's go ahead and put a record together. So, and that started that whole process.
Mm. Yeah, it's great you are. I mean, I'm a fan, and I know when I look online and you look on YouTube and stuff, and you see 24/7 and I Swear, you see all the comments, and most of them say, "Why isn't there more music of yours out there?"
Yeah. Well, all I can say to my fans is, I'll be back. It just takes a little time. Maybe it takes me a little longer than it takes everybody else. I don't know what to tell them.
But it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I intend to really, really put my foot into this project and just really just to have a solid body of work from top to bottom. I'm not going to try to beat people up with quantity, because I don't think that quantity necessarily means value. Where a lot of these artists nowadays, they want to put 15, 17 songs on a record. And I think all that does is devalues the product. I think you need to give people enough songs to fall in love with. If you give them that many, they're confused. So, or it's just extra stuff. It's like, when people decided they wanted to stop buying albums, they just wanted to buy singles. Well, they wanted to buy singles because, you get a record that had maybe a couple songs that they really liked, and the rest of it was just fluff.
That's very true. I've done that before.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand it. And so if you could buy a single, people got to the point where they prefer to buy a single. Well, and it makes sense. But so for me, it's not about the quantity; it's about the quality. I'm not gonna put that many songs on a record. I'm gonna put enough songs on a record. I think a good amount of music, just shy of an hour. If I could put enough music on a CD that before an hour passes, it's done. And that I've been able to take you in and out, up and down, around, and so on and so forth, and to let you experience, the journey, and not an hour and 5 minutes, but just shy of an hour. I think it's enough music for people to listen to from one person. If they want to start all over again, then they're welcome to start all over again. But if you have to play a record that has 15, 17 songs on it, well over an hour, and you're not going to feel like you're going to forget. If there was a song you liked, you will have probably have forgotten it by the time you get to the end of the record. So I believe in making it simple, keeping it simple for your listener. I think people appreciate that.
24/7 is one of my favourite songs of yours. Is that one of your favourites that you've recorded?
As a solo artist, yes, I would have to say it was a nice, refreshing departure from a sound that we had developed in After 7. After 7, it kind of made a stamp about what our sound was and the type of song that we would sing. So for me to step away from the group and make the decision to go solo, it was the perfect song for me to introduce myself into the market as a solo artist.
Yeah, and that was a top 10 in '99, so that went really well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did good numbers. It actually did.
I first saw you sing on David Foster's DVD, The Hitman, where you and your brother Babyface do a great version of I Swear. I actually think it's better than the original. Would you ever consider recording it?
I Swear? It was All for One, I think it was, that performed that song. And that's a group situation. I don't know that I would record that again. Maybe if my brother and I considered to do something like that, that might be something we might conspire to do. But as a solo artist, probably not. Probably not. But I did enjoy the little snippet of performance that we did do, the rendition of it, though.
Yeah, it's great. What music do you like to listen to, then?
Well, I I like some of the new R&B artists. I do like Chris Brown. I like Neo. I still have a love for R&B music, you know. And this might shock you a little bit. I now reside in Nashville.
Oh, right.
I reside in Nashville, Tennessee, and so I am around country music all of the time now. And believe it or not, you can choose to believe this or not, but I do. No, well, I'm starting to develop an appreciation for country music. Not that I never did, but just listening to the writing, they are such great songwriters. They tell a story better than anybody that I know. My brother is an outstanding songwriter, and I would say definitely if he had competition, and I think, you know, there's always great songwriters out here, but I'm very, very, very impressed with the songwriting and some of the country artists that I hear out here. Now that I'm here, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention before, but now that I'm here, it's like I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I think a lot of people, they don't necessarily want to listen to country, do they? But when they hear it, they think, "Wow, that's really good."
Yeah, it'll surprise you. It'll catch you off guard, in a good way, though, in a really good way. So, and you know, just you get a chance to see a lot of this new talent that's coming up, and I think the other part about country is it's changing somewhat. It's not your father's or your grandfather's country music. It's probably a little bit more pop, I guess, and somewhat, you know, more popular. You know, there are people who, I guess, who give the little cutie that sings, Taylor Swift. They give her the blues because they think she's not really a all the way country artist, but I think she's outstanding. I love her voice. I love her delivery and her songwriting.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the kind of country music that, you know, probably her parents or grandparents used to listen to. It's evolved just like a lot of music has.
Yeah, well, it can only be good though, can't it, that it moves on, and because otherwise, well, it wouldn't die, the music, but you wouldn't have people now listening to it as much, would you?
Probably not. Probably not.
Do you like any soul singers from the past?
Oh, well, it depends on what you call soul singers. I mean, I loved probably every group, you know, that came up, you know, back in the day, from Jackie Wilson. I'm a particular fan of his, but I could go from Jackie Wilson to loving some Otis Redding to I thoroughly enjoyed the Spinners, the Mighty Mighty Spinners, when I was growing up. Stand-up male vocal groups that I still have, you know, an appreciation for. Their music is just, they wrote and performed the kind of music that is still timeless today. And so, yeah, I still have a great appreciation. Who do you like to play on your show?
All the singers and groups you just mentioned. Yeah,
okay.
Like Otis Redding, James Brown, The Temptations, Four Top, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I like some of the newer stuff as well. That's the best way.
Yeah, just mix it up and let people appreciate how music has changed, and you just can't get away from some of those old classics.
No, you can't.
They always seem to reign true. So yeah, I love that. I love that about their style and their approach. Gladys Knight.
Oh, fantastic! You know. She's over in America doing Dancing with the Stars, isn't she?
Yes, and she's doing a fantastic job. So it's pretty amazing, and I don't know how Gladys is, but you know what? I can't imagine myself doing what she's doing.
Even now.
Yeah, exactly. She looks fantastic. She looks fantastic. And her voice is still the same. That's the most amazing thing about it all. So he's been able to maintain and keep that gift of hers.
That's a very hard thing to do, isn't it, as you get older, to keep your voice reach the notes that...
It is. Oh my goodness. You find, and as you grow and, as you go and grow in this business and in performing, you learn how to do what you have to do. Maybe you don't approach it the same way you used to, but you figure out how to get those notes one way or another, is what it is over time,
Yeah, you get around it.
Mhm. A lot of people think it's just a gift and you just go, but you have to take care of it. The best thing you can ever do for your voice is to get rest. Let your body be rested. And a lot of people don't think much about that, but it's true. They say talking a lot is hard on your voice, but not getting rest and not being hydrated are two very critical pieces to maintaining your voice.
Right. Well, that's good to know. I do singing, so.
Yes.
What's one of your favourite songs?
Wow.
Tough question. Whenever I ask this question, that is always the answer. Wow.
Yeah.
How can I choose?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what is I don't know that I can tell you that I have a favorite song. There are just so many songs throughout the years. I can't tell you that I have a favorite. In all honesty, I don't think that I have I know that I don't have a favorite. There are so many songs that I love and have an appreciation for, and you'll say it now, oh, I love that song. Or you'll say this, oh, I love that song. It's, because, over time, you've been around as long as I've been around, you develop an appreciation. One song I know I love, the Donny Hathaway. I've been so many places in my life and time. A song for you.
So, with your new album, planned anything yet? Are you collaborating with anybody, or is your brother going to help you with some of the songs?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to bring my brother into this project this time around. He wasn't on the last project, Who Knew? And as I said before, that last project was just my first project as an independent, on an independent label. And there is a night and day difference between putting together a record, an album for an independent label as opposed to a major. And you have to deal with a lot more obstacles that you never had to give any kind of consideration to when you're signed to a major. One thing is there's plenty of money with a major, so those things don't become issues. When you deal with an independent, it gets real. Everything gets real very fast and gets critical. It can be critical.
It's a lot more harder to promote it, isn't it? On a
harder to
label.
Harder to promote, harder to bring to the table the kind of players that you want, to write for you and things like that, or to produce for you. It's just more difficult all the way around, is what it is. So, but this time around, for me, it's taking my time and being able to work with people who have an understanding and a full-on appreciation for what my talent is, and we're going to scoot all the other stuff out of the way. We're going to do the work first, and we'll figure out the business aspect of it later. And when you have a trust between people like that, then you can accomplish more. When there's a trust and respect between producer, songwriter, and the artist. And that's my approach on this next record. And I hope to get started with Damon Thomas and the Underdogs and Harvey Mason Jr. out on the West Coast is who I plan to get started with. So we'll start there, and we'll see where it takes us from there. But I feel comfortable with sitting down with them and getting started because they have a handle and a good sensibility about my voice and how I approach my music.
And you can never rush an album, can you?
Well, if you do, you pay the price.
Hmm.
You do, you pay the price. And as I said, the Who Knew record was a bit more rushed than I've never did a record up until then rushed. My 24/7 was not a rushed record. Anything that I ever did with After 7 was never rushed. My the Who Knew was the only body of work that I really felt pressed and rushed to complete. And so what I did learn from that is something that I won't do again. My thing for me has been to be a vocalist. If there's something that I really, really feel strongly about, then there's something that I will take pen to paper and probably co-write something with someone if I feel like there's something that I really feel needs to be said or is very strong. I feel very strongly about. But I like to rely on people's strengths in their areas where they have their expertise. You know, a lot of people, I've seen people who just wanted to write their whole record because now they're going to get publishing, but it only works if it's a smash, if it's a solid record, you know. Just because you wrote it doesn't mean that it's going to take off. And, you know, there's much to be said about a solid, a well-written song. And, you know, you got songwriters that are phenomenal, like down here in Nashville, that are, you know, they understand a well-written song, how to tell a story, and to wrap it up, and all in the same, at the same time, making you feel what it is they're writing about. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the delivery of the artist who is singing it, as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, isn't there?
Yeah, there really is. Some moving parts that you definitely have to have. And like I said, a well-written song, a solid producer, and an artist who has the right kind of voice and knows how to interpret what the writer is trying to convey. Then you got the makings of something.
All right then, Kevon. Well, it's been great talking to you, and thanks for joining us on the show.
Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate your interest. And hopefully I'll be getting some music out to you sooner than later, and you won't have to just rely on 24/7 and the David Foster hits performances. We'll get some more stuff out there in the mix for you real soon.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kevon.
You take care.